Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Let's take a look at this Ryan O'Reilly deal.
Hello? Yes?
All right, folks, we'll just do a quick video on this. I know it's, I want to do my game day video, of course, but I want to talk a little bit about this trade. We're Sabres fans. We have an interest in Ryan O'Reilly and the ripple effect it's had in our franchise, getting Tage Thompson, so on and so on. And this is really the big hockey news of the day. I want to give you my thoughts on it because I'll just give you my thoughts on it. Let's take a look at the deal. All right, the Blues get Adam Gaudette, Mikhail Abramov, and they get a first, a second, and a third-round pick. That third-round pick you see highlighted in dark. If you look below, that was part of the Matt Murray deal from Ottawa. That's why it says it's Ottawa's third-round pick. It's really Toronto's, but technically speaking, it was Ottawa's. So that's where they got that third-round pick from. Minnesota now they retain 50% St. Louis. There's a bit of confusion out there. People think that the Wild are paying 3.750 when in fact they're paying 1.875. I'll explain that. Ryan O'Reilly went to Minnesota. They retained half the salary. You see it right there, okay? The minus 50%, that's retained by St. Louis. So Ryan O'Reilly goes there, 50% retained, and they also get that fourth-round pick. They got that fourth-round pick from Toronto because then Toronto took O'Reilly at 50% off Minnesota's 50% that they're paying. You get it? So they're paying 3.750. Toronto says, okay, we'll pay 50% of that, which is 1.875, and we'll take on Ryan O'Reilly. We'll give you our fourth-round pick. That's basically what happened there. So that's why it says minus 50 and minus 50, when in reality, yes, if Toronto would have said, no, we don't want him, then they would have been stuck with O'Reilly for 3.75 Minnesota, but of course, that's not what was going down in the first place. So these guys know what they're doing, right? So then Toronto get him 1.875. They also Josh Pillar is just really a depth signing for their in the minors, and maybe the potential diamond in the rough is Noel Acciari. He's a physical forward, but folks, he's 31. You know, he's 31 years old. So let's keep that in mind. And I don't know. You know, looking at it from this angle here, folks, I don't like what Toronto's done here if nothing happens in the playoffs. If Toronto go out in the first round, they're going to look like idiots doing this because this is a rental. There's no way they're going to be able to afford Ryan O'Reilly in the offseason. They have no money. And Toronto, once again, has kind of, I think, put themselves in a position that they have to succeed now. I think the addition of Acciari can help them. I do believe that. This year, he's 31. He just turned 31. O'Reilly just turned 32. These are not youngsters. These are not guys in their prime. Truth is, Acciari is really just a physical forward that, you know, he can lay the body. But, again, he's, what, 5'10"? He's about that. He's not a big guy. And O'Reilly's the main piece, and the main piece is going out. If we break it right down and we get rid of all the technical stuff, it's Ryan O'Reilly, folks, going to Toronto for a first, a second, and a third, and a fourth-round pick. And Toronto fans are saying this is a good move. You know what? I remember years ago when they got Foligno, they were saying that was a good move too. You keep selling the farm, folks, and watch what happens. You can't, I don't care how high Toronto finish in the standings this year, you don't toss your first rounders away. I think they could have got O'Reilly for less. And I'm actually surprised that they, you know, this is the thing, guys. You know, Toronto fans kind of aren't in tune. Some of them aren't in tune. You know what they're saying about Ryan O'Reilly? That now they got somebody that has the physical play that they lack. They're saying this about Ryan O'Reilly, which is just, you know, Ryan O'Reilly, okay, I'll give you his numbers. I mean, look, we know that he's a good defensive forward. We know that much about him, but he's not a physical player. What does he have this year? 40 games, 13 hits. Toronto, if that's what you're going to use as your Your rebuttal, change the rebuttal. At least say we got somebody with playoff experience. Leave it at that. Toronto fans sometimes say the most boneheaded things online. Now we got his physical presence is what they're saying. I'm like, the guy's minus 24. He has 7 goals in 40 games. He's a minus 24. He has 13 hits. His face-off percentage has even dipped this year at 54%. It's the lowest it's been in like 8 years. Could he wake up on Toronto? I don't know. He woke up on St. Louis, right? He did. But again, I mean, you know, I know he got the MVP that year, which I'll always say Binnington should have got it. Really. You know, I mean, could have they won that cup without O'Reilly? Maybe. St. Louis had a lot of gamers on that team. You know, but 26 games in the playoffs, and he scored 8 goals. And he had 15 assists, and he was a +2 in the playoffs. And he got the MVP. I don't know. I think Binnington should have got it. Yes, he was clutch in the playoffs. I don't know, you know. And in the playoffs, folks, his face-off percentage that year when he won the MVP was 50.1. His numbers, honestly, were... He won 308 faceoffs. He lost 307 in that playoffs. I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand. Like, I don't believe Messier should have got the MVP in 84. In 84, it should have been Gretzky. And they gave it to Messier because of that goal he scored when it turned the series around against the Islanders. But guys, put it this way. I want you to look at that deal. I'm going to put up the clip one more time, okay? I want you to look at this. And I want to give you a visual, and this is the way I want you to look at it. And you tell me, you guys tell me, yes, I got to get my notes cut up, I know, but guys, I've been so damn busy in real life. I can't even tell you. Like I'm right now worried about what time it is. I've got to get ready and get out of here. So let's look at this. Let's have a visual, okay? Okay, one more time, let's look at this, guys. So St. Louis gets... Really, Gaudette, you know, yes, he's traveled around the NHL. I believe he played, Canucks, and he's been around. But he's, you know, there's not much here. We're talking like 4th round guys and stuff. That's not the important thing. The important thing is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd rounders. Okay, this is the important thing here. And you're retaining half, which is no big deal, and for Ryan O'Reilly. Now I want you to look at what Toronto got back. Okay. Keep in mind Achari's 31. Josh Pillar's just a depth signing, just for signing rights too. He's not even under contract at the end of the year. This is just something, I guess, that they wanted, maybe to try and negotiate with him, who knows. And then Ryan O'Reilly. But I want you to take that Toronto Maple Leaf logo and put a Buffalo Sabres logo on there. And pretend that we just gave up our 1st, our 2nd, our 3rd, and our 4th round picks, okay, for that deal. Would you be mad at Kevin Adams right now if we went and gave up a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th to get Ryan O'Reilly back? Would you be mad right now? As a Toronto fan, I get it. Toronto is desperate. Folks, they've been useless in the playoffs. Useless. Horrible. A joke. They have been. They've been a joke in the playoffs like we've been in the regular season for the last 20 years in Toronto. Toronto hasn't won a playoff series, folks, since 2004, I believe. It's a long time. It's a long time. Think of it this way. In the new NHL era, the Toronto Maple Leafs have not won a playoff series. With all the money they've spent and all the names and they're the center of the universe and all this stuff, think about it. So Toronto's desperate. Toronto have to get something done. They know it. And they believe, and I do too, that this Toronto team could go deep. This team could go deep. Now, was this the right pickup? If you're going to give a haul like that, you better make sure, and this is at Dubas, you better make sure you don't lose that series this year to Tampa Bay. Because if the Maple Leafs lose this series to Tampa Bay this year, they're going to be the laughingstock of the NHL. They will be. Because they gave up the farm again. And their fans don't understand what draft picks are because their fans are all saying, we gave up nothing to get them. Look, we still have all our prospects. Toronto, you're not deep in prospects. Go look at your prospects again. And then come look at ours. You're not deep in prospects. You have to build prospects like a team. You have to build up a prospect pool to have one. You don't. They gave up so many first rounders now. I've lost track with Toronto and Dubas, and so they've got to get it done this year. This is what it boils down to, folks. This will look like a good move, and I'm closing it here finally. It's a bit of a rant, not really, but it is. It'll be a good move on Toronto's part if they go deep. If they don't go deep, it's a complete boneheaded, stupid move. And guys, it's as simple as that, really. If Kevin Adams did this, I'd be pissed as hell. Even with this team we have now, how we need a guy on the faceoffs, I'd be pissed as hell giving up a first rounder for Ryan O'Reilly. All right, folks, done with that. That's just my thoughts on this trade. We'll see in the playoffs if Toronto made the right decision or not. I suspect they didn't. We'll say it right now. I just don't think they're going to beat Tampa Bay. We'll see. All right, folks, see you in the next one.